Hello, my name is Kit Mars. I'm the CEO and founder of Western Alaska Minerals. I'd like to speak to you today and go through our presentation and tell you our story and some of the highlights. So first of all, I'll introduce myself and my background. So my wife, Joan, and I incorporated Western Alaska Copper and Gold in Alaska in 2010, explored the Illinois Creek District for about 12 years as a private company. And then in November of last year, we went public on the Toronto Venture Exchange. So my background is an economic geologist out of Tucson, Arizona, and moved to Alaska with Anaconda Minerals Company in the 1970s, spent quite a few years exploring throughout the state, and ended up as the project geologist at Illinois Creek, which we'll be talking about today. So Joe Piekenbrock is with us. Joe, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Joe Piekenbrock. I'm the Chief Exploration Officer. Like Kit, a longtime Alaska explorer, been involved with many of the major successes in the state. Started off my career with Caminco in the early days, was part of the Pebble Discovery team, joined Placer Dome for a stretch in South America as kind of a technical guru, was involved in the Zaldivar acquisition, returned to the US and really started being involved in juniors as a whole, started Brett Resources, a real successful junior and real successful junior story, ultimately obtained by a Cisco. Then I joined Nova Gold, was their VP of exploration, all during the Donlin discovery, the spinoff and the subsequent Bornite discovery. That's my background. Won the Thayer Lindsley Award for my work at Donlin from PDAC and for international exploration success, and then won the Colin and Spence Award for my success at Bornite by AIME BC, the Roundup organization. So with Kit, joined our properties together, consolidated a district, and we're moving forward now. Kit, if you want to just walk through the story a bit.
Yeah, well, thank you, Joe. Well, okay, now as we move into the presentation, I'd like to point out the Illinois Creek camp in the lower right-hand corner we purchased from Nova Gold in 2013, and the 4,400-foot airstrip shown in the upper left. And that is our primary access right now. And you can see the topography is a very low terrain, very gentle rolling hills, easy to work in and easy to develop in. This is our forward-looking statement, so I will not spend too much time on this, but please take the time to read it thoroughly if you are interested in investing. Today, we'll be giving you a highlight of three major points. The first of all is that we have a very large land position in Western Alaska. It's highly promising and relatively underexplored. Currently have 49,000 US acres that are 100% owned. Joe and I just covered our track record of exploration success in Alaska, so we won't dwell on that anymore. This year or last year in 2021, we had some excellent drilling success at Waterpump Creek, and that has become the new focus for our company. So we will be touching on Waterpump Creek quite a bit. In the upper slide, just to give you an idea of our location, we have deep water barge access out of the Seattle-Vancouver area, through the Alaska Peninsula area, and then up to the mouth of the Yukon River. The the lower map in front of you shows our location in Western Alaska. We're about 270 miles west of Fairbanks. Fairbanks is host to the Fort Knox gold mine and Northern Star's Pogo underground gold mine. We're about 500 kilometers south of Red Dog, the flagship mine for Teck and the world's largest zinc producer. And Joe mentioned his work at Donlin, and Donlin is about 120 kilometers to south of us. This slide shows the two major claim groups that Western Alaska Minerals currently owns. All these properties are 100% owned. The Round Top Porphyry copper deposit is shown in the upper right-hand corner of the map. And then the Honker Gold, Waterpump Creek, and Illinois Creek historic Oxide gold mine are shown in the center, which is our largest property position. We have 5 different properties that are shown there that contain 5 different metals, so quite a diversity. of mineral deposits that gives us quite a bit of flexibility. I'll turn the comments over to Joe now, and then we'll go through some of the slides to really show you the importance of Waterpump Creek.
So this year was our first year drilling Illinois Creek. Previously, we'd explored Round Top, and in 2019 really consolidated the district, bringing my holdings together with Western Alaska Copper and Gold holdings. So this was our first significant drill year on the property. We had a very transformative hole drilled, Waterpump Creek 2109. You can see in the image here. Massive sphalerite, argentiferous galena, exceptionally high grades. The drill hole cut an interval of 9.1 meters true thickness of over half a kilo of silver and almost 40% combined lead zinc. Basically, from a silver equivalency standpoint, 180 or 1,886 grams per ton silver equivalent. So a really transformative hole for the project. Previous to this sulfide hole, exploration had really focused on the oxide gold silver resources in the district. And indeed, we were exploring the water pump, the up dip side of this sulfide mineralization in the oxidized zone before drilling Waterpump Creek 2109. Just to put this in quick context, what this means in the silver market space as a whole, these are a couple of the better or almost best explorer developers in the silver CRD system scenarios in the world at the moment. Silvercrest is a $1.5 billion market cap company just going into production in Mexico. Their best drill hole this year is 7.3 meters of 3,300 grams per ton silver equivalent. Vizsla, another Mexican explorer on their Panuca vein system, about a $500 million market cap, really a significant early explorer, 11.4 meters of 1,564 grams per ton. Our drill hole 2109 is then shown as the third line there. Our market cap is about 43 million at this point in time. 9.1 meters true thickness, 1,886 grams per ton silver equivalent. So the whole purpose of this slide is really to give you a feel for where we're at with comparable explorer developers at the moment. Clearly, Waterpump Creek 2109 is a transformative hole and really gives us the potential to be a major significant player. That's from the explorer developer standpoint. I have a next slide here that really shows the major tier 1 primary silver producers in the world and other major primary silver mines in the world. The top 10 primary silver mines are shown on the left. This is just a simple bar graph showing silver and byproduct metals for a silver equivalency standpoint. The silver grades are shown in the dark and the byproduct mineralization is shown in the lighter colors. The top 10 primary silver mines in the world average about 300 grams per ton silver and average just under 500 grams per ton silver equivalent. The Waterpump Creek 2109 hole is shown over on the right. Basically, it has about 4 times the grade we see in those. Of course, that's just a singular drill hole. It's not comparable with reserves that we see in the graph here. The takeaway from this, though, is that if we can maintain even a half or quarter of the grade that we see in this spectacular new drill hole, we should be able to, if we can expand the footprint of the resource, become a very significant contender to be a tier 1 silver producer ultimately down the line. Just some polished core sections from our 2109 intercept here, just to give you a feel for the really incredible grade that was encountered. I'll look at the upper left corner image. Waterpump Creek 2109 at 115 meters, 400 grams per ton silver, 40% zinc and 16% lead. Really incredible massive sphalerite, argentiferous galena throughout. A few places you can see secondary dolomite as the matrix. Incredible grade, incredible leverage to to grade in this situation. Now, this wasn't the first sulfide intercept drilled at Waterpump Creek. Anaconda in 1984 drilled several intervals just up dip from this drill hole, and Nova Gold in 2005 had drilled a hole in it as well. So there are 5 existing drill holes in this really impressive mineralization, define an area of about 50 by 100 meters. Those 5 intercepts average just under 8 meters true thickness, 460 grams per ton silver, and basically 30% combined lead zinc. Really spectacular grade. We won't go into this. Take a look at this at a point if you'd like. It really shows how much we need to expand our footprint at those grades that we're seeing in those 5 intercepts to reach a silver crest kind of scenario of 100 million ounces. And then again, it also shows how big of a footprint we need to drill of this similar mineralization to really become a player in that top tier 1 silver scenario. Take a look at this at your leisure. Again, this is just a quick checklist. Peter McGaugh, the world's expert on CRD systems, is a part of our technical support board. This is just his checklist of what defines major systems. Again, from a technical standpoint, take a look at this if you want to understand what we're really seeing in the property as a whole at this point. Kit, I'll turn it back over to you. Talk about the existing oxide resource and a little of that history as well.
Okay, well, thank you, Joe. Shown here in the lower center photo is a recent picture of the past producing Illinois Creek open pit mine. It was an oxide gold mine, the first heap leach mine operated in Alaska. So a little bit of the history, and timing is everything. And in the mining business, this property was put into development in 1996. Money was borrowed when gold was $350 an ounce. They didn't have forward selling of futures at that point. Went into production the next year in 1997. Gold suddenly went to $270 an ounce, so very different pricing than we have today. And the operation only lasted about 18 months with a negative cash flow. Closed and left the majority of the resource in the ground. So that historic resource is shown in the top of this slide is our 525,000 ounces of gold equivalent. So that is the resource and the qualifying property that Western Alaska used in 2021 in part of our effort to successfully go public on the Toronto Venture Exchange. It is our qualifying property. So I might point out that any valuation at that point in time was really tied to this gold resource because we did not have the success we just talked about at Waterpump Creek. A couple of takeaways here is that the Illinois Creek shown that you can have a fully permitted operating mine at this location in Western Alaska. And the second point is our regulator, the state of Alaska Department of Natural Resources, is very supportive of mining in this area. And they've turned over to us the entire mine data permit set when this mine operated, and we're currently upgrading and updating those studies. I'll skip through the next 2 slides. Just want to point out we do have other properties. This is the Honker high-grade gold vein, and we'll have some assays coming out in the next week or 2 from drilling last year at Honker. We also have a very good oxide copper deposit at Round Top. We've drilled about 10,000 meters between 2016 and 19. And towards the end of this year, early next year, we'll have a copper resource come out at Round Top. So to summarize here, we had 9 drill holes at Waterpump Creek. All those assays were released in January. We hope to release our Honker assays in the next couple of weeks. We will be aggressively drill testing the high grade at Carbonate replacement deposit, and that's really going to be the focus of our company going forward in 2022. We'll have a 6,000 meter program, and that'll be focused on Waterpump Creek. We touched on our team, so I'll skip through this slide in the interest of time. Mentioned Peter McGaugh, which shown here. Darwin Green, CEO of High Gold, is also a technical advisor, and Nate Brewer, one of our directors, was the other project geologist with me when we operated the Illinois Creek project for Anaconda. We currently have 14.3 million shares that are free trading, shares outstanding. However, the true number I would point you to look at is the 41 million shares fully diluted, including options and our pre-existing shareholders. So based on that, current market cap of the company is right around 47 million Canadian. In November, when we went public, our financing raised about 5.3 million Canadian at a price of 85 cents. And that did not include any warrants. We try to keep our share structure very clean and simple. We're very tightly held. My wife and I are the founders of the company. We currently control about 25%. Another 8% directors and officers. And then we're very proud of our two institutional shareholders that joined us in the RTO effort, Crescott Capital out of Denver and Delbrook Capital out of Vancouver. And we have analyst coverage from Michael Gray, one of the top analysts in the mining sector, and Michael is with Agentis Capital. So be summing up here, but I just wanted to show a couple slides to show that we are a little different than most junior explorers. We have an excellent airstrip. We own our own heavy equipment. Photo shown here of unloading drill supplies. We also are very proud of our local hire initiatives. We started local hiring in 2017, concentrating on the nearby villages of Nulato, Caltag, and Galena on the middle Yukon in our area. We will be expanding on that in 2022 and also have started a work training grant program at 3 of the villages. So this is our summary. You can look at this at your leisure. And that concludes our summary. Hope you enjoyed it. Please take a look at this. And if you have any questions, the contact information is shown on the screen, and please let us know and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you for your time.